So move the piece of wood, one hand on the wood, one hand on the cross member. That 4x4. It's only underneath by a touch. And then I'm going to slide the whole thing. Whoops, see what I mean? Slide the whole thing towards you. Now you're going into the car. I'm going to jack it up a fraction to get the wheels clear.
Back on the jack?
Yeah, well, when you slide it, of course you're sliding it off the jack because it wants to go the wrong way. So give me a second. I'm going to hold the jack back. I want to have enough room back here. So I'm not... Oh, there's one of my torch sets. I was wondering where it was. I'm going to have to jack it up, get the handle down. So I'm going to set this camera down. I'm riding my jack. Which is what I was doing the other day too. Everybody in the world could watch. Norway, Denmark, Japan, Mexico. Nobody in Cuba watching it. Looking for a place to grip. Give me a second. One place to grip that's going to be right in my fingers. Ah. Give me a second. Alright. Now I gotta look at the engine. Can you hand me that flat bar, the orange handled flat bar? The oil, the so-called skid plates hanging up. And it's pouring rain and I'm not on my Harley. Give me a second, I'm just gonna place this underneath here. Slide over this. Don't get too aggressive on me, alright. No, hang on, one more time, hang on. I'm fighting with it. Hold it with my chin. Don't go too aggressive, it'll go right to my throat, okay? Pluck it again, hang on. There's a bolt coming up there too. A little more. No. Just slide forward. How are we doing for balance?
It's decently balanced. Here,
Barely.
There we go. I'll see how far it falls forward.
Because there's a bolt that sticks down, and
So very little. Doesn't take much from that.
I'm going to try and crank on it a little bit more. Actually, can we roll the whole thing? Because I'm running out of room here.
Oh,
Roll the entire assembly. Yeah. All right. Oops. Parts. Whoop. Hey, I'm going to put this under my leg. There we go. Oh, yeah, baby! Oh.
Is it far enough back now?
Oh, that bolt is recessed. Doesn't catch on the wood anyways. But it worked. So let's see how it feels.
It's a little front.
Yeah, because of the muffler. And the muffler, the turbo's on that side. Let's see how it wants to slide. Let's try to come back a little bit more. It's fun, isn't it? Last time you had the opportunity to work on a 62 Corvair with a 64 inch. Lifting the whole freaking thing up. What are you, a bouncer throwing somebody on the bar?
This weighs about as much as a keg does.
Oh, that's it. It's hanging up again on the oil can. You know what we have to do now? We have to go a little bit that way. Yeah. Now it's all. I've got it built to fit her now. It's all right. We're just gonna have to hang on to it. Oh boy. Hang on to it. Let's just make sure I got the press the record button. Yeah, it's recording. Once in a while, I'm recording, and all of a sudden the camera turns off. Oh yeah, I'm not recording. No.
This is pretty darn balanced.
Yeah, look at that. Hang on. Yeah, I told you there's a pivot point here. I've done it by myself, but just not the same 25-year-old I was 25 years ago. Those days we got. See, if I would have had gas in that fuel filter, it would have balanced it. That's what the difference was. I changed the fuel filter. You don't believe that, do you?
I was going to say.
You're not a sucker. You're not the sucker that
A couple ounces.
Yeah, at the most. Not with ethanol in it. So now what we have to do is roll the whole thing forward, and then while we're jacking it up, at some point it'll get the top of its travel, and I have to engage that clutch. There goes the Cummins. The clutch ball has to go into that pivot right there, and that's the only tricky part. So we'll get to that part when we get to it. Yep. We'll put the camera here. What's that show us? I can't see very much. Alright, I'll roll the jack forward.
This is a transaxle.
This is the whole thing. They call it a power pack. It's engine, differential, transmission. So the power goes from the engine to the clutch, clutch to the transmission, back to the differential. Uh-huh.
We're looking at that around.
The whole thing, this is it. And the trick is it's got to go from the bottom up, which is the way GM did it when they built these things 40, 50 years ago. So I don't think I'm going to do this yet. Well, see, I want to push it from the jack, because if we just roll it, it's going to roll off this. So I'm going to move my foot. Rolling there, it's going forward. Crank the jack with this bar. That's not so bad, as long as I'm not too aggressive on it. I'm rolling it.
Just the wheels touching.
What was happening when I took it out is I had the engine cradle that I made rubbing on the jack wheels, and I wasn't smart enough to jack it up one crank. And I was fighting with it, but it made for good YouTube material. Oh, that carb's clearing by freaking just an inch, so I didn't think this thing actually lowered it a touch. Only up. No, I'm just saying that I thought I had a lot more clearance, but luckily I jacked it up as much as I did. Once the engine's out, you can't jack the car up. You have two other jacks. Rolling down the ladder. That's kind of sort of it.
Well, you gotta come back half inch.
Well, when I jack it up, here, lift up your feet.
Oh, there we go.
Yep. That's what you were looking for, huh?
Yeah, I was like, I need a half inch to keep finger on this.
As the jack goes up, it comes back, but I'll pull it back a little bit.
Here. I was just looking at where that was.
Here, hang on for a second. I just want to see what this camera's doing here. It's precious moments here. Don't want to forget about it and be out of camera range. Let's set this thing right there. So I was wrong about that Buick, the Subaru. What a coincidence! My junkyard friend's got a black Subaru GT sedan, and some other people next door have the exact same car. Just a coincidence. Parked beside it. That was the junkyard guy. It's got to come way over to the left, doesn't it? To your side. I think I'm going to have to, hang on, I'm going to have to crank the jack over with the bar. I'm going to inch it over.
That's it.
Because that turbo pipe, see that turbo pipe? See the flat spot? That's made clear. Clear. I'm going to change vantage points. These people on YouTube won't fall asleep. I think it might clear now. We're real close. Like I said, see that flat on the turbo pipe?
Well, I can rotate the engine a little bit too.
Yeah. Keep in mind it's a $400 carburetor. Even though it doesn't belong on this engine, it's still a $400 carburetor. Whoop! Clunk! The oil filler just hit the engine mount, so it's going to go forward for the front of the car. So I'll do it. Because if you try to twist on the motor, it's going to slide around on the jack. That's not a good thing. I got really good control here. Whoop. I'm just looking at that clutch ball. Getting kind of close to the clutch ball alignment point. I go forward again, see the engine mount, oil filler, gas pump.
Yep.
How far forward is it going? Because we're getting only a couple inches in the front by the transmission mount. Towards the front of the car.
Oh, you're about to hit something right here. Just pieces.
Yeah, that's the engine mount hitting the fuel pump.
Got an 8-inch off.
You know something? I think I'm in that front bolt. Comfortable? Good. No, they're talking about Mitt Romney passing the health care
Governor and his aides
bill in Massachusetts. It's good for Massachusetts, but not good for the nation. Poor people shouldn't get health care unless they're dirt poor, and rich people can afford it. Would you believe I'm off by an inch here?
Backwards or forward?
Well, it's got to go down, but I can pivot it down. And then it's got to go backwards, but can you lift up the back of the engine?
I can see it in front. So
Whoop, go easy, go easy. My hand's right there. Oh, another eighth of an inch. Oh, we're so close here. Hang on. Shifter's in the way. Shit.
you just moved the carburetor too.
Give me a second here.
Oh, I see it sitting on this.
You don't believe how close it is here. It's half an inch away. But I know you're at the end of whatever. I'm going to have to lower it a little bit.
Oh, you're going to lower it. Hold on a second.
Not a good spot for your hands, huh?
No, I just didn't want this to go down with it.
Just want to go down just a fraction. It's just rubbing so hard on the bolt, on the cross member bolt. It's right up against the bolt. It's going to be our first alignment bolt. Oops.
No, I moved the engine over to get this pie.
No, it's a whole big long conglomeration here. Hang on, I gotta get a better light. My eyes are dimming with age.
Headlamp?
It's actually not a bad idea.
That's what I use whenever I work on anything.
Yeah, I have a couple of just. Of course, now it's shining right in my eye. I'm gonna sit down here.
There is an interesting detail that you came up with.
Okay, see if you can lift your end, which will lower my end, I think. Whoop. Now I gotta come over. That whole jack has to come over, son of a gun.
Jack has to move over towards you?
Yeah, the whole jack, if you're kind of busy there, I think. I'll just crank the whole jack over. Thunder and lightning, I hear it.
But also that he included some language
Should be more than enough.
does not take responsibility of not buy health insurance, then it becomes a burden on the taxpayer. That's the problem. Well, that's very important. The Obama administration today.
Try and wiggle your end up, which should lower mine. Whoop.
Too much?
No, it's got to go towards the back of the car. Not much. Whoop! Right there. Ding! Bingo!
Got it?
Yeah. I got a castellated nut here.
Actually, it should lift right in now.
Yeah. We've got one aligned. I still have that clutch shaft I was telling you about, that clutch cross shaft that I got to engage.
I'm looking at everything right now, and it looks like they're lining up. Well, the back has to kick out a little bit.
All right.
But you have to lift it up before you can kick it out.
When I did this, it's 25 or 30 years ago, early 80s, I did it on a car, and I jacked the whole thing up. And I said, boy, what's the likelihood of me getting it on the first try? And I look, and all the three bolts were engaged on the first try. It's just, can't do it. It just doesn't happen.
You're a half inch this way. If you were to go straight up right now, you'd miss it by a half inch.
Well, that's tilted pretty crazy, huh? So now I have to crawl underneath. I gotta move all this crap out of the way. on my little nuts and bolts. And I'm going to grab a piece of...
Kind of good. Well, it's needed a little while before they dry out. I've had these for 5 years. Got them on my first tour overseas. They're Impact 3.
Tour overseas? I didn't know you served in the military.
10 years.
I had no idea. All the while I thought you were just fresh out of your mommy's basement living in the apartment in the... No, joking.
No.
We get all kinds.
29. I'll be 29. Spent from the since I was 17 till I was 27 at the Army.
I had no idea. I was just talking with a friend of mine who's a little bit older than me, and her kids won't just move back home. He's 25. He ain't too happy about that. Why don't you crank that jack up? It's suspended on one. Yeah. Unfortunately, you're going to run out of jack before it's engaged. I got another full inch to go. Oh, you want to laugh? Remember I told you about that clutch cross shaft? Mm-hmm. It's in.
I was going to say, I thought it plugged in when I turned it.
Yeah, it just plugged in. It's not that hard to do. It's just you got to do it. Otherwise, you got to take the mount off the bucket.
This back end over.
It's actually got to go towards the front of the car, the whole engine. Oh, hang on. The wood's in the way. Just kick it. Well, you can't. You're not worrying. Okay. So, tell me about your military service. I had no idea.
I spent 5 years as a cook. And I went into ordnance. Became an ammunition technician.
Oh, so you were.
Explosives, yeah.
Well, when you're talking about food and then ordnance, of course, food becomes ordnance when it processes. No, joking. Bad joke. All I do is like salad and carrots, so that's about my diet.
Well, that's when I joke about I'm a professionally trained chef. I went to cook school.
I think you're at the end of the travel. The jack's not going up anymore. It's too bad. We have another inch to go here. Huh.
That's too bad. That jack should go all the way to the top.
Yeah, right. 20-year-old piece of junk from Sam's Club. I just put oil in it, actually. It was only going up part way. It's going up a lot more now. So I wonder if I could just pivot it, lift it up myself. Here, put the camera down. I just don't want to lift it off the jack, but I guess I won't have a problem now. The trick I've learned is you got to move really easy whenever you're doing heavy stuff like this. The whole motor
Needs a shift.
comes this way. Oh, well, no, the wood's in the way. Not off by a lot, but it's got to go up a fair amount. Let me see if the bar, I can crank it off my plywood. Nope. You know what? Give me the long bar to your left. The red handle. Yep. That's my $30 one I bought in San Diego. Never had one that big, but it's a beauty. Oh yeah. All the garages always have them. I never
I
did.
have one that's 3 size, or about 3 inches taller than I am, and weighs about 96 pounds. Nothing more.
Skyhook. Skyhook.
It's actually quite good to have one.
Well, you need everything. You need a hoist. I need new concrete to put a hoist in the garage. I need a proper waste oil furnace. I got a lot of dreams. I'm doing
See,
something.
waste oil furnace?
Well, I have one. You know, it's actually in.
Oh, that's
I got it.
You're perfectly lined up.
Yeah, but I gotta. Are you holding on to something?
Nope.
Come here. But don't wiggle. Just crank down. Push directly down. Whoop. Easy. Wow. Cool. I need a waste oil furnace because the one that I have, you have to watch. You can't leave it alone because it gets too hot. It'll overheat and blow up. It overheats the chimney, so you can't leave it. If you're in the shop, it's fine, but you can't walk out for more than 5 minutes because it'll blow up. Or if it goes out, the oil just keeps on running. It's too low tech. It's okay if you're in the shop, but I like to wander around. I gotta get some supplies. So I want to get a real one, and they're $5,000. All right, I go real slow. I better just tighten those babies up. So I'm gonna turn this camera off for a minute while you're well posed there. Oh, thunder and lightning! And I'm not on my Harley! The poor guys. I cleaned the bike so nice and pretty last year. All right. Turbo. Bolts in, cross shafts in. Yippee!